How do you survive when stuff goes wrong? How do you even thrive when things go wrong? G'day guys, it's Coach Brad here, and another tip for your business and for your life. And today what I want to do is go through some strategies and some deeper understanding on how to actually survive and thrive when shit goes wrong in your business and also in your life. So, key thing here is we will learn more from what we mess up than what we get right. We will grow more through our biggest challenges in life than we will for any of the easy things. The challenge is though, we won't see the benefit quite often of a challenging situation until it's in our rear vision mirror. Until that point when we've got through that challenge and we can actually have a look in the rear vision mirror and see the benefit to us of going through that experience, it can be pretty damn tough to get through it. So what I want to do today is frame you up with some strategies and some basic knowledge and understanding on how to keep moving until you get that lesson, that benefit, whatever it is, into your rear vision mirror. Because think about it, if you get stuck, there's no way without you moving that you're going to see that benefit. So it's critical in times of toughness to keep moving, even if it is one toe in front of the other. So let's dive into it. Fundamentally, three things, three beliefs to keep in mind when the you-know-what hits the fan. Number one, you will be okay. As much as you might catastrophize and think it's going to be horrible, at the end of the day, you will be okay, or you'll probably be dead. So, you're not going to worry about it if you're dead, but always keep going and maintain the attitude that you're going to survive, you're going to be okay. You've been up and okay in your life until now, so there's no reason to believe that that's not going to happen for you. So fundamentally, you will survive, you will be okay. Second belief to hold on to on here is, you never get a challenge that you can't handle. Now think about it. Have you passed all the challenges in your life to date? Yes, of course you have. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. So in the wisdom of the universe and God, or whatever you want to call it, its way of getting us to grow means that it will give us challenges that we can handle. So you need to believe that you can survive this. And coming back to an above and below the line basis as well, of course you can. You need to make a decision that you're going to get through this, you're going to survive and prosper. And the third thing is, finding a balance to keep moving, because that's the biggest challenge a lot of the time, is we get stuck. And what I want to show you is a way to find some balance in the situation, no matter how bad you think it is, to just keep you moving ahead. Great, so let's consider an example where, let's say maybe you've lost a key account, maybe you've lost a key client, or whatever it is. Something has gone really, really wrong. So I've got an axis here, and we've got up the top here a benefit, and then a drawback on this axis here, and then we've got a negative and a positive on this axis here. So if it was a major account, it's going to be a negative experience and there's going to be a drawback. And quite naturally, in a negative situation, all the negative reasons are going to be really easy to find. So what I'd suggest you do is write them all out. Get a big sheet of A4 paper, put this X mark on it, and start listing out all the things that you think are going to go wrong. You lose a key account, so your cash flow is going to go down. You may have to remortgage your home. You may have to lay off workers. Get into it. Write them all out. What are the negatives? What are the drawbacks for everything that's happening? Get them out on paper so that you can look at them. What's the worst possible thing that's going to happen? You see, down in this corner here, a negative and a drawback, we call this area here a nightmare. We're stuck with our perception of the situation. And again, what we're trying to do here is find the balance. Okay, it's not all against you. There is always going to be balancing factors. Everything that I ever see in business and life tends to balance itself out. Our perceptions stop it from seeing it. So here's how you start to open your perceptions to see where perhaps the opportunity is. Not perhaps, it's definitely there. You've got to find it though. Part of the challenge is to get you to go looking. So what I want you to do is all your negative things, flip them up here to a positive benefit. So you've lost this key account and your money's gone down. So when it was really good, you had high cash flow. You had investments that you were doing. You were able to take holidays. You were able to put new team members on. You had whatever it was. List out all the positive things about the exact opposite of here. So straight away we're starting to balance this out. Up here, this zone is called fantasy, because nothing is ever going to be brilliant forever, or nothing is ever going to be a nightmare forever. Your job and our job is to find the balancing point in here. And by asking yourself a series of questions to bring yourself back to equilibration, that's what's going to happen. So balance, first of all, if it's a negative thing, balance it out with the positive. Now here's the kicker though, this is where you really can start to get some balance in the situation is. We want to look at, let's take the nightmare situation and what are the benefits. Now most times when I sort of talk to people about this, they go, benefits, what's good about this? Does this happen? And they'll get stuck in here. Remember, what we focus on is what we get more of. So we want to really stretch you and challenge you to think about some of the positives up here. So if we go back to losing this key account detail. So up here, maybe we can find a better key account. Maybe in this instance we need to be able to do better marketing. It's going to force us to do our marketing better. Why did we lose them? Maybe there's some things we're doing in our process with them that we can refine to stop this from happening again. Go through and really work out as many of these benefits to this negative situation as you can to start to take the charge out of it, to start to take the emotion out of it. Up here, we call this area a blind spot. So a benefit on a negative, because usually we're either stuck here or here. We don't see these blind spots. And it's these blind spots that make the difference. Similarly down here, if you've got a positive situation and balance it out, we want to look at the drawbacks to having all these things in here. Yep, what are some of the other potential drawbacks that are going to start to balance this out? Because what we want to do is get us back to this central point. Two sayings, remember, it is what it is. So whatever this situation has happened, it is what it is. And the third thing is it's all relative. It's all relative to this point in the middle here. If you're out here, you've got a distorted version of what's going on, then it's your perceptions. You can change your perceptions by looking at the different areas. Now, what I'd suggest also is if you have a situation where everything is going fantastic, you're thinking the world is brilliant, it's all sunshine and rainbows, you're up here and you're living in a fantasy. You're not going to be growing at that point. So I would challenge you when that happens to do this exercise again. Start looking at the blind spot down here. So let's say, business is going well, you're making lots of profit. What's the downside to that? What's the drawback to this situation here? So can take your eyes off the wheel, not as diligent with our customer service, not watching our cash flow enough, all of those sorts of areas. So have a look around and try and balance it all out to bring it into perspective. It's all relative. So when you're either up here or if you're down here, we want to try and bring you back to this equilibration point because this is where you're going to start to grow. So hopefully that's going to help give you some skills to just keep moving when stuff goes wrong. Remember, you're not going to see the benefit to the lesson out of whatever the pain was until you're through it into the other side. The idea of this exercise is to remind you of some key philosophies to keep you moving and also some strategies to keep it going, even if it is one toe in front of the other. Hope that's a benefit to you, and if you have any questions, by all means get in touch.